metres, 107 metres for him in the centres for the Titans. One day he might taste victory again. And then the Raiders 14, the Seagulls 18. Whitehead had a try assist early doors in this game. Bateman 4 successful offloads. Sutton, who started for the first time in a while after his injury, come back, 114 metres for him. And Hodgson played too, but ultimately not enough for the Green Machine against a spirited Manly effort. They were determined to give away as many penalties as they could get away with in the last 10 minutes, and it saw them through. In terms of the standings, what's going on there, Al?
Yep, so Storm still lead the way on 38 points. Roosters now clearing second on 34. The Raiders, Seagulls and Rabbitohs all have 30, so very tight for the top four there. Eels have 28, Sharks on 24, and Broncos have 23 to complete the playoff spots for now. Tigers... God, don't tell me they're in ninth. That's just perfect. Tigers and Panthers are the closest chasers on 22, with the Knights and Bulldogs on 20. Warriors have a very outside playoff chance, very outside on 19. The rest are now also Rans.
Yeah, no one, sadly, got in touch on the USA RL Grand Final at the weekend, which was won by the Brooklyn Kings for their first title. I didn't watch all of the game, but I caught a few little bits. Our friend Nate Gladding was on the commentary, so good to see. I think you can check that out on Facebook as well. So well done to those guys over stateside as well. And that is all the results from around the world of Rugby League covered. We're now going to look forward to round 27 of Super League, and we're also going to explain how the playoffs work. So it's time to look ahead to the next week we've got coming for us in the world of Rugby League, and we start with our Super League round 27 predictions. But before we give our predictions, just to clarify for ourselves as much as anyone else, it's been so long since a 5-team playoffs. I used to love the 5-team playoff format 15 years ago. I've forgotten how it works now.
Oh, we've forgotten it all.
Well, 20 years ago nearly, innit, actually, since they ditched the 5-team playoffs. Anyway, so the playoffs, or the finals for those down under, will start on the weekend of the 19th and 20th of September. And the first game will be between 4th versus 5th. So as that stands at the moment, it would be Hull FC versus Salford. In theory, on the Thursday night. We don't know that's how it'll work out, but in theory. And that's how it stands at the moment. And then you're going to have Warrington versus Wigan in the other game. Now that game, the winner will go on to face the Saints the next week. The loser still has a second chance, and will play the winner of the other game the week after, when they get into a winner stays in situation for those two teams. So the best way to plan it, I think, is hang around the sort of north west Manchester region. Sort of West Manchester, I think, is the place to be, isn't it? Because then you've got Salford and Warrington and Wigan, all very hittable distance away.
Yes, stay in a hotel that's not a million miles from Salford Crescent, and that's probably about right, isn't it?
Yeah, because we're almost guaranteed to have one of the home games being in that region for that weekend, almost guaranteed. Now there's still a bit of water to pass under that bridge, and Castleford will have some conversations to have with people about that, and Catalan might just chirp up. Let's they might. Anyway, that's where it works. So after those games, the winner of the first eliminator game between 4th and 5th will go into the second eliminator game against the loser of the qualifier game between 2nd and 3rd, whereas St Helens, first place St Helens, will face the winner of that qualifier game, as it's being called. The winner of the the winner of those...
You've started on this track now, you've got to keep going.
The winner of that game between St Helens and whoever comes through the...
2nd and 3rd.
The qualifier game will go to the grand final. The loser will get another chance against the winner of the other game in the second semi-final the week before Old Trafford. And then it will be Old Trafford between the winner of the Saints game and the winner of the other game.
So in theory, Saints so in theory, Saints have a week. They have a week off, play, and then if they win, they then have another week off, and then they play at Old Trafford.
Yes.
So it's not exactly great for continuity, is it?
No, but you'd hope by that stage of the season you're already in a stage where you know how each other's playing. It's just keeping everyone fit enough, so it does help you from that regard.
Well, we'll see. As you say, there's 3 more rounds yet.
Exactly. And round 27 starts on Thursday night when Salford get to host a hungover Warrington Wolves on Thursday night, 7:45 p.m. Sky, Warrington can really thank Sky for this scheduling. It seems a nonsense when they could have moved any number of other games, like London versus Leeds maybe, or some that has something going on it, that riding on it. I don't know. Anyway, it's Salford versus Warrington. It's a top of the table battle, which is kind of what we want to be seeing at this time of the year anyway, to be honest. But maybe not with one team a few days off. A big momentous win in the Challenge Cup final. I'm going Salford by 20.
Yeah, Warrington still drunk. Salford by 20 for me as well.
Okay, on to Friday again. We've got 2 games on Friday. The first one we'll talk about is Hull FC versus Huddersfield, 7:45 p.m. kickoff. Do you see any way for the Giants to turn their rotten form around against the Hull FC side, who sit 4th at the moment?
The trouble for Huddersfield is it really means something for Hull. So I can't see beyond the Hull win. I'm afraid Hull by 8.
I've got Hull by 7, so very similar thought processes for me on that one. Friday night Sky game is the losing cup finalists against a side who are familiar with losing in finals. It's the Castleford Tigers.
Chuckers Derby.
It's a case of who can chew their food, isn't it, really, in this game? I think Saints will bounce back. I think, the poor execution is one aspect of what they're doing, that they can make enough chances, though, and I do feel like they'll have a point to prove, back on the TV, back on a big night. I think Saints will win this one. It'll be a game they want to show something in. There might be some players that drop out from that Challenge Cup final side who aren't quite fully fit, but I think some of the kids behind them have shown their worth this year anyway. I'm going Saints by 16-20. Saints by 3 scores.
Interesting. I've gone completely the way. Secret Cast fan and all. Cast need this one desperately. St Helens will be likely devastated, but you can't underestimate the impact of losing that final. Cast need it. Saints don't need it for the league. Cast by 2.
Cast by 2. Right, okay. Well, that'll really mix things up. Okay, on Saturday, 5 p.m. on Sky as well. I'm not sure if we can get used to them still being on Sky after broadcast deals are up in the air for Catalan's coverage, but right now we can enjoy watching them still, and it's Catalans versus Hull Kingston Rovers. This is crunch for Hull KR, isn't it, now at this stage of the season? And everyone's beating the Catalans at the moment, so do you think that will continue?
I completely agree with you. Your kind of summary last week that Catalan have checked out for this year. And Hull KR are absolutely desperate for this. So Hull KR to win it. Hull KR by 4.
See, I want to pick Hull KR in this one. I want them to stay in Super League. They've got a fantastic crowd, fantastic fan base, and so I want those guys to be rewarded by staying in Super League. However, I worry about that squad. It's a very experienced squad, and the games where I expect it to rise, they don't do. And at the moment, I'm really finding it hard to see where their wins coming from, having watched a couple of their games in the last few weeks. So I even though Catalans have been horrible, I think Catalans will have had a lot of soul searching to do here, and there'll be a lot of players there that need to prove something to themselves in that Catalan side, I fear. So I'm going to go Catalans by 8, even though I would want Hull KR to win this one. I'm going Catalans by 8.
Okay.
On to Sunday, a game that has been highly anticipated for months, let's face it, with the form of these two sides. And just as one of the two sides looked like they were edging away from relegation woes, the other side kicked up a big win last week, and now the cat is right among the pigeons again. So Sunday at 3 o'clock, London versus Leeds Rhinos. I really fancy Leeds. I still feel like they've sorted themselves out a lot more. We all saw the London boys on the big screen having a good time at the Challenge Cup final, cheering on their dual reg partners in Sheffield in the 1895 Cup. I think Leeds. I've got Leeds by 14. I just think they've got enough quality.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I wonder if this game is going to be heavily influenced by the game of the day before. Because London do have that, the fact that they're separated from KR by, 20 points difference, something like that. I think there may be an influence on this. So I'm predicating my London win prediction on the back of Hull KR winning. So I'm fully aware that both of those things might not come to pass. But I'm going to say London to edge it. London by 6.
Fair enough. Okay. Sunday, 3 o'clock as well. Wakefield versus Wigan. Wakefield maybe have turned a corner in the last game. That they finally got that monkey off their back after a long run of woeful form. Wigan looking for second place in the league and could, if results go their way, take it this weekend. Where do you see this one going?
I don't think it'll be 62-0. Either way. I think Wigan are the better team. Both teams need it, so that isn't a factor in this one. But Wigan are a better team at this time of year, unlike earlier in the year. Wigan by 10.
Yeah, I think that's a fair summary. Wigan are the team chasing at the top, so you're going to pick them to win when both of them need it as much as each other. I'm going to go Wigan by 16. I think that performance against Warrington 2 weeks ago is a sign that this team can, if they can pull out a performance that matches that, Wakefield won't be able to stick with them, I don't think. So Wigan by 16.
Yep.
Championship, last chance saloon. It might even be not even that for Bradford and Sheffield, but the winner of this game may still have a chance of the top 5. The loser of this game definitely won't have a chance of the top 5, and it does depend on what Featherstone do against who are Featherstone playing? Probably Rochdale, so it probably doesn't matter. Featherstone are away at Batley, so
okay.
could be a surprise in that one. You're not quite
sure.
Know. So Bradford versus Sheffield, head or heart or which way?
Well, it's the last ever game at Odsal if you listen to the fucking bullshit from the club. I can't see us not getting up for this one, coming through adversity. But Sheffield drunk still, probably. Bradford to win this one by 6.
I think Sheffield will focus. I think they won't be drunk still. I think they'll be able to focus. I'm going to go Sheffield to win, with the Bulls having a meltdown in the last 10 minutes.
That is also entirely possible.
League One game of the week, 2 of the promotion likelies. Workington need this game to confirm their promotion. Their playoff status actually. So Hunslet versus Workington. Which way do you see this going?
Let's go for Rugby League chaos. Let's go say Hunslet, because League One's been anything but predictable this year.
I think Hunslet as well. They're the side that ranks slightly above Workington. Seem to be in good form, but I don't think Workington are going to make much of a noise in the playoffs, so I'm going to go Hunslet at this stage. Okay, in the NRL, the Brit picks. Warriors versus Rabbitohs, see if any Burgesses are back, Friday 9 a.m. Broncos versus Eels, if Herbie Farnsworth can magically work his way back into that side. I think it's probably too late in the season to see that happen now, but Friday 10:55 a.m. if you want to find out. Knights versus Titans, could this be Callum Watkins' first win in fucking forever? Saturday 6 a.m. I'm backing the Titans to do that one. Roosters versus the Panthers, Saturday at 10:35 a.m. if Ryan Hall, if they remember Ryan Hall's part of the squad, he might get a game. Sharks versus Raiders, Sunday at 5 a.m. That's crucial for both sides actually in those playoff position battles. And then Dragons versus West Tigers, 7:05 a.m. also on Sunday. Get your fan views in on the Google Forms. There'll be a link posted out after every one of the Super League games. You'll also be able to select other, or look out for the link on a Sunday evening, to give us all your fan views on any action that you watch. Go to, listen to on the radio, follow on Twitter.